The anxiety of creation manifests itself in all human works. It is the conflict that arises in our impossible quest for perfection, where we seek to bestow upon our children a life free of the troubles that had plagued us, only to see them shaped by forces we had not considered. In a way, each act of creation, of taking something from the mind and materializing it into the shared world, can be nothing more than an etched relief of the imperfections marked upon it by the sublime forces of chaos through which we wander. Anything we wish to bring out of the private realms of our inner dialogues is then subjected to the world and changed by the invisible hands of fate. I often wonder, is not the ether between my mouth and the words just as responsible for their sounds as my intention to speak them? Art is then perhaps best personified by the image of a man spinning a plate, always striving for uniform, constant motion, always struggling with the essential truths that bind us to this world: time, gravity, centrifugal force, and his own limitations in the face of these things are in the end what make the performance worthwhile at all.
Because I looked down and the time code read something weird and I was like, why is that happening? And then I was like, the record button isn't illuminated.
Well, the good news is that there is so much game left ahead to have genuine reactions to also.
I know, but it like...
We could have lost way more than that.
Yeah. It's gonna take me a little bit to get over that.
Yeah. We in the morning we can start a new file. I'm fucking bummed that we have to play this whole fucking thing again. Mostly. That's what I'm looking on the opposite end of you. I'm like, God damn it. It was getting really good.
Welcome to No One Can Know About This, a podcast where we play every Final Fantasy. I'm Jeff Ekman.
And I'm Ryan Kazmiski.
And here we go, Season 3, Episode 5.
Book 3, Chapter 5.
Yeah, that's right. Uh-oh.
Well, I mean...
As you guys know, after hearing at the end of last episode, we're starting over.
Yeah, we started the game over. Just to recap, we thought we had lost all of the recordings we had made. We didn't. I don't know how... I don't know. The specifics of this get wonky. We don't understand the program we're using to record. So at the end of the night, we decided we have to just start the game over.
Right.
And the next day we met up and began again.
And because this is a documentation of our experience playing the game, and we're trying to illustrate what it feels like to play a Final Fantasy game.
You guys are going to start the game over too.
Yeah. That's the way we're doing this. You're going to go through the experience we had.
That's how it has to happen.
So this episode's going to be a little different. Sit back, relax. It's more of a hangout, you know?
Free your mind.
Free your mind for this episode. I was thinking about it. This episode's kind of like a found episode. Like many shows have a lost episode. We thought that we had lost footage that would turned out we didn't. And so therefore there was a newer... other found episode that exists. It's a bonus episode, exactly.
Just like lose all of your illusions about what an episode is or should be, and break your mind out of mind prison.
Yeah, exactly.
And go to the bonus episode world.
That's where we're going this week. So where this begins is like the next morning. I am in a horrible place. I am devastated that this happened.
I just have to reiterate that I could never have been more.
I know. You were like, well, this is just what we have to do. And I
think I was like, oh no, it'll hurt our podcast.
Oh my God. We promise you that before the end of this episode, we will be back to where we left off.
Uh-huh.
And without any further ado, let's experience this little journey that we went on of a replay of Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, we did some other stuff too.
Yeah, we went out, we got bananas.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really fun episode. I honestly think this is going to be one of the most fun episodes.
Yeah, this will be good.
But yeah, don't skip it.
Oh, I hadn't even considered that anyone would do that.
Somebody might. Nobody should. Should we even bring that up?
I don't know. I mean, if you want to skip it, I guess you can. You'll have to wait a week for the next one. And then you won't understand whatever jokes we come up with in this one.
Yeah, I'm sure there will
later.
be callbacks to whatever. Anyway, the point...
I'm not going to stop anyone from...
We're not going to stop you from doing anything
Yeah.
that you want to do.
I mean, could we even? Do we hold that kind of power yet? How much power do we have?
Very little.
Not enough.
Very,
Not
very
enough
little.
Yet.
We'll get more later, and we'll use it for that purpose.
Okay, yeah.
So let's do it. Let's go back to a very rough time.
It was fine.
Shut
it was
up.
A fine time.
God damn. No, I'm totally on a there were jokes and moments and little things and
We were doing all those voices.
We were really doing good voices for so long. We weren't doing good voices.
No, but I'll say the fact remains that we were sitting here reading every single line of dialogue in a voice to nobody.
To nobody.
To ourselves.
So we thought.
But hey, you know what? It's like that was like we were doing a dry read.
Oh my
We've
God.
rehearsed it now.
Oh my God.
We know the parts.
Because, yeah, we have to read it all again.
We have to read it all again.
We have to read it all
Read
again.
it all again.
Honestly, I've felt defeated many times making this podcast. This is the most deeply defeated I've ever felt. And it's so early.
Well, because
And
this is
it's-
a new defeat.
Yeah,
that was
this is-
defeat in the game. This is like defeat in the production.
Yeah, that's why it's so much deeper of a cut for me. One of the things that's going on here is as soon as something that you thought was pretty good is gone, it becomes this extraordinary thing. Like, you put it way up on the pedestal and you realize that thing that I'm never sure exactly what it was the funniest, most incredible thing that ever could have been. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as it's gone, it becomes better in your mind.
I don't know where I got this instinct from, but my reaction to this, like in college, I had like my first two whole scripts were on a hard drive that crashed and they were gone, and I was like, who cares? Those weren't good anyway. And I mean, like, anything I've ever lost, before I even think about it, I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's not that thing sucked. I'm moving on.
There were some sketches I lost in college that I still am convinced were like the funniest sketches I ever wrote, and I know they're not.
You know that they're
I
not.
know that they're definitely not, but like they're gone now. Gone. There was something about a general. I remember.
Let's recreate it right now. There was a general.
I don't remember what the
There's a
bit
general-
was. It's gone forever. But because it's gone forever, it's now the best sketch I ever wrote.
Yeah, I feel the opposite about it. I prefer things that I do to not be here forever. The
Right.
things I've done in the past that are still on the record, I'm like, oh my God.
I know. Well, that's the thing. It's like when you can actually go over it, you're like, this wasn't that good. Yeah. But like, I think that your attitude is much healthier than mine.
I don't know. I think there's a balance there because I'm totally like, I don't even protect my shit because I hope it gets destroyed. You know? It's like,
after that experience of losing those sketches, if I do anything, it's instantly on 7 different hard drives. Mm-hmm. So the idea that this wasn't recorded in the first place, I was going like, but wait, there's got to be a way to get this data. It's got to exist somewhere. And it's just like, it doesn't.
Oh, yeah. See, I have a nightmare to drop on you. I'm the kind of person who I'm like, yeah, my computer has been acting weird for a few months. Probably should back it up before it gets even weirder. And I just like sit on it.
That is 1,000 times worse than not preheating your pizza. Jesus Christ.
I just like play this game.
You're a monster. How do you
I'm
live
looking
like
at the
this?
computer and I'm like, seems like it's ticking down.
No.
Who knows what the clock reads, though?
You're trying to ride the edge like that? No.
How do you feel about this in retrospect? Like hearing your reaction to it versus like now knowing how it all turned out?
Well, the truth I was living at that time is not completely ridiculous to me. One thing that this did illustrate for me is a reminder that if this was the most devastating thing that's happened to me in a while, I have an amazing life.
Yeah.
Like, things are good. Also, I was thinking, like, maybe I'm not putting myself out there into positions where I might get hurt enough if this is the most hurt that I've felt. In this moment, what was recording was me just having to feel it
Right.
for a period of time.
Yeah, and I want to say, I don't think your position was ridiculous at all. I just, I did not react.
What do you think of your reaction?
Uh,
Well, especially now that you know that the audio was there,
I mean-
your reaction is perfectly justified.
Well,
but
my thought at the time was there's no way this would even hurt the podcast, other
Right.
than in some hypothetical podcast that can't exist anymore. But for what people hear, it's gonna be fine.
Right,
Was
right.
what I thought. I was like, whatever happens, we'll just get it all
Mm-hmm.
sorted when we get there or whatever. And I was mostly just I can't believe I'm starting Final Fantasy VI over again. This is the 12th time that I've started Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
I've played this part
yeah.
so many fucking times.
And well, that's the thing where it's these games really did kind of prepare us for this moment.
Yeah.
Because it's the setbacks, the starting over, the nature of all of that time and effort that we spent on this was lost.
Yeah.
And I got to just go back to the other save point and start from there.
This is honestly, this is not that much worse from having a bad save point and dying.
It really isn't.
It's a little bit worse, but maybe only by an hour.
That honestly is part of why I feel totally justified in keeping this whole thing in the show is yeah, it is an illustration of losing when you haven't saved in forever.
Yeah, and I mean, to the audience out there, how many times have you started a Final Fantasy game?
Yeah, and how many times have you finished a Final Fantasy game? Compared to the number of times you've started one.
I know the answer for me. Part of what was enticing about the podcast was I was and then we'll actually finish them.
Right,
I was I never
exactly.
fucking finished
Exactly.
these games.
It really hurt.
I think in the end it's going to be not as big of a deal as you feel like.
It really isn't. I know that, but right now I want to curl up into a fucking ball. I really...
Wow, man.
I really don't know the last time, I felt that, in a moment, just, crestfallen. Truly.
I'm going to ride the no mistakes wave. I'm just going to say fuck it.
Yeah. So the next morning, we meet up, we regroup, we head out to get some groceries, get breakfast.
Soft reset on the whole game.
Yeah,
you
on our
know?
brains.
We were okay, let's do the get snackage thing again. We're just gonna go do the whole thing again, including the driving to places and the getting ready to settle in.
Yep. I was just caught off guard. I was emotionally off guard. Usually, when you hear about things, bad things, when bad things happen, you're prepared for them. I was just I didn't think a world like that could happen.
This is the JRPG life.
One of the reasons I unironically think that Inside Out is one of the best movies ever made is that its fundamental message is saying that sadness has a purpose, and its purpose is usually in temporary and in specific spots. And you use it, and you feel it, and you allow it to take over. It's a way of allowing for closure. It's just you feel the sadness for a period of time, and then you let it pass.
Counterpoint, sadness doesn't have a purpose, and you don't ever have to feel it at all.
Yeah? And how does that lead to a healthy life?
I mean,
A good way to process
I'm not saying that it's good or bad.
Well, here's my question. I assume that you really
I've
didn't.
moved
It really
beyond.
didn't affect you, but maybe you're just bottling it up, and someday later on, when about something completely unrelated, you're
I'm
gonna
gonna break down in
explode in rage, and you're gonna be like, "Why did I have that reaction to that?" And it's gonna be because you never dealt with your emotions about the data loss.
I think you're probably right about other things in my life, but I don't know if that's true of this.
Exactly. So we go to the store, we're trying to pick up clotted cream, we get back into the car with a bunch of snacks.
Yeah, I got very distracted. This happens to me once in a while, where when I see the olive bar, at Whole Foods, I just suddenly am struck by this need to get the biggest container and fill it with as many types of olives as I can. Marinated beets, little cocktail pickles, and then a wide variety of olives.
Gamer food.
Taken from all of the dishes.
Classic gamer food. You know, because like when you picture a streamer that's doing like
they're just like eating olives and
covered
spitting
in
out
olives.
pits. You know,
Yeah,
they've got
just
oil all
pits
over their
everywhere.
hands, and they're just like they're eating a lot of briny things. That's what gamers are known for.
Oh well, let's say we just bought at Whole Foods some regular pasteurized cream.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna make clotted cream with that, and we got 2 different types of bananas,
Yes.
both of which are confusing. One of them is red.
Yeah, we got like some little baby bananas and some red bananas.
Well, are the baby ones, because the baby ones are green, are they ripe?
We're going to
When do we
assume that
eat?
they are.
We're gonna assume that they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna potentially, what we're signing ourselves up for is some potentially terrible
But
bananas.
we don't have to eat them all right now.
Right.
We'll try them and then
they
wait a
can-
few days,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
we'll try them again.
They're mini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to fill up on them.
Oh,
That's another thing, too, that maybe I'll like about this mini banana, is I always feel like you get a few bites into a banana and you're like, I don't need...
I don't need all this banana.
And you can't save banana once it's opened. Once it's
you
opened,
cannot
it's
save
over.
a banana. Yeah.
And then the peel is dangerous. You can't leave it out.
People are slipping on them all the time.
It's a liability.
Yeah, what was this era where banana peels were all over the streets, causing everybody to slip?
I mean, maybe that was like during the first banana boom, and you'd be walking around and you just happen to be near a banana importer, and there's just bananas all over.
You know what I think it probably is more than that is like Charlie Chaplin did a slapstick thing that involved a banana, and everybody was like,
Well, yeah, I can also see the physical joke of he's like, I've finished this, and he throws it on the ground and then slips on his own thing. You know?
exactly. But that whole like slipping on a banana peel thing, it reminds me, like, I was thinking last night, because I was listening to that Carson podcast, but basically at some point Johnny Carson had like a rubber chicken that he had under his desk, like in case of emergency. And it just got me thinking about like what was ever funny about the rubber chicken? Like, why is that a standard comedy staple? A rubber chicken. Like, is it funny because it flops? It's floppy and it's goofy?
I think it looks super funny.
It
just on
looks
its
goofy
own.
on its own.
Yeah, you know, I had a rubber chicken when I was a kid. I've never really thought about it. I didn't think of it as a comedy thing either, but you're right, it's like a clown prop.
Right. But just the idea that a comedian would be like, see, if you're dying out there, just pull out the rubber chicken. They'll go nuts.
I don't know if that would
What
be
if
weird if it
folk-
was ever. I don't know if it was it like a stand-up thing?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. And now I feel like it's a meta joke about comedy of like,
Right.
here's this relic
Right.
of
Like, if it was used in stand-up, I feel like it would have been used by Steve Martin when he was, like, kind of
exactly
making fun of
right,
stand-up.
right. We don't know
I don't know.
because all we have is the internet.
Because I also put on that old TNG episode recently where Joe Piscopo teaches Data what comedy is.
Right.
And it's so funny to me because it's like Data wants to know what comedy is, and he goes to the 1980s to learn. Like standard stand-up
He's
comedy
like,
from the 80s.
I love that in the future everyone has agreed. They're like, in this humorless future they live in,
Right.
they're like, comedy was definitely at its best in the 1980s.
Exactly.
They're like, we've
that-
agreed upon that, and that's
what I think is so
canon now.
funny. Is like there's no comedian from the future.
You know what? I'm just thinking about it, and I can't say why or why I think so, but I agree. The rubber chicken is good. Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know why, but I think the rubber chicken might be good.
I'm just gonna hit the ATM.
Oh, now, say, what are you doing handing me this rubber chicken? I used to, yeah, I don't have anything about Jimmy Stewart and rubber chickens. But maybe it could be Jimmy Stewart complaining that he has to go on stage and all they've given him to work with is a rubber chicken. Well, see, don't you think the people are just tired of this? Don't we want to give them something honest? I mean, they go out there and they work every day for the pennies that they can scrape together, and once they can rub 2 nickels together, they come here to let off some steam, and you're going to send me out there with a rubber chicken? A rubber chicken? Really? Yeah, I think the rubber chicken might be fresh again.
Well, yeah, because, like, then Piscopo starts going off about, like, he basically goes off on a big Jerry Lewis impression. Because he's like, what's funny? And he's like, what's funny is going like, where are you? And it's like, because how was this ever really good? I guess because it was like he was... What was good in, like, the 50s was full commitment to silliness. Because silliness...
Because everyone
alone,
was so serious.
Everybody was... Yeah, exactly. Like, silliness, just being silly was so outrageous.
Yeah.
That it itself was incredibly brilliant. And it's like, all you're doing is, like, a weird noise when you talk. Because you're using the words, but the words are not the comedy. It's the way you're talking. So, something tells me that this baby banana is like a... not right.
So this is the continuation of our quest to find better bananas.
Yep.
We went to Whole Foods.
We got mini bananas, which are, it turns out, exactly the same as normal bananas, but they're small.
So that's a plus already, because
Right.
they're not as much.
Mm-hmm. And then we also got a red banana that was definitively not ripe.
Definitively a different type of banana, too. Like a whole different animal.
Yes. Not the banana that we were actually recommended to try. We still haven't tried that.
We haven't found
which is like
that
a Thai
yet. Yeah,
banana, something like that. We got to go to a specialty store.
But on this day in history, we tried 2 banana varietals.
That's right. Okay, I'm opening the banana. This looks unique. No, that's ripe. That's not bad. Do you want your own mini banana here?
Yeah, let me go get one.
Haley, watch out.
Yeah, I would say that's better than a regular banana. It's not very different from a regular banana. Like a good ripe banana, I don't know that it's like significantly different.
I like the smell. Has a really fresh, planty smell. Almost like a vegetable. Like a salad.
Right. Tastes like a banana.
Yeah, I don't know that this solves my indifference towards bananas.
Okay, now this red one, I think I'm gonna have to like cut it open. Try to open this like a normal banana. It's like got armor on it.
Yeah, that's some tough skin. I think that's a cut.
Yeah, you do
Yeah.
the cut. Is this maybe not right?
That's terrible.
That is a really horrible experience.
Ugh. Oh man, that is awful.
It's like a cucumber. It tastes like a cucumber in the shape of a banana.
Like drying my tongue out. No, it's bitter.
Oh. What is that?
It's like you can't swallow it. It's like it has thorns in it.
It's very fibrous-y. What the fuck is this even for? Do you like have to cook it to make it okay?
Maybe. That's terrible.
What the fuck is that?
Now that is a worse banana.
That is a sick. If that's what's on our horizon,
That's
we're
what
in
I'm
trouble.
saying. That could be on our horizon.
If that's what's on our horizon, bananas are dead.
We don't need. What the what?
Wow.
Oh man! It was like eating a spoonful of nutmeg. Like each bite I tried to chew, my tongue just literally dried
It's like
out.
a banana
I had
challenge.
Sand in my mouth.
Yeah, no, it was like a consistency I've never experienced.
I've got some of it like in my teeth, and it's like rough. It's like
It actually made me gag.
fucking terrible. Oh. That's a depressing banana.
That is a terrible, terrible banana.
You know what is good? Marinated beets.
So as you can hear in the background, it begins again. Mm-hmm. Here we go.
I just got to emphasize that red banana was worse than dog toothpaste.
It was really...
one of the worst things I've ever tried to eat.
Right, and this was supposed to be eaten by humans.
Yeah, we bought this at a store, like at Whole Foods. They
Yeah.
sell this to people.
Yeah, like you said,
As though
it
it's a
tastes like...
banana. As though it's a thing you should eat like a fucking banana. It's like the most familiar fruit ever.
Yeah, it's like the kind of thing, though, that if you found it in the wild, your body would be like, this must be poison. Don't eat this.
Yeah, this is not food.
This is not food. But anyway, we get started on the game.
I can't believe how bad that fucking banana was.
I can't either. That's amazing. I didn't expect to find a banana that, like, I...
Hated more than anything.
Well, because, like, I don't hate the banana. I just don't think it's very good.
I gotta think that we did it wrong. Is that our red banana... How do you know when a red banana is ripe? They do change color, not so obviously as normal bananas. There's a slight greenish tint that disappears as they ripen, and the red becomes a bit deeper. They also get softer, including the skin getting more tender, just like a yellow banana skin. So it might have just been a really unripe red banana.
Possible.
But I can't imagine when would it be good? Like, what does a good version of that taste like?
I mean, if you look at the cross-section here, look at how green the inside of the skin is here.
Yeah, maybe we try it again in a few days?
Yeah, or weeks.
Well, here we are starting the game again.
Yep.
This is just what we gotta do.
Not taking any risks going forward.
What do you mean?
Well, that's what they said.
Oh. Well, audience, we'll probably see you in a few hours after we've cut out all of this shit that we're about to play up until where the recording stopped.
On the plus side, we have a bounty of olives.
We gotta look at the positives. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. Man. I should have just gotten a whole thing of marinated beets. Piss red for days. I mean, I'm excited. Still don't have to work today. Get to hang out, play Final Fantasy, eat a bunch of olives. It's a perfect day.
Yeah. Yeah, the banana future, if it's red, does not look bright.
Not at all.
I mean, red does mean, where the hell did you get that banana at? Because it tastes like fucking garbage.
To me, it seemed like, you know how it's like if you found something that looked like fruit in the wild, and it would be just something you have to choke down. You're like, I know it's edible, kind of, but
Right.
it's not really food. Like, it hasn't been domesticated. This is just like
Sustenance.
plant pulp.
Right.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're watching Survivor Man and he's like, oh, this cactus is technically edible, or he's like scraping bark off of trees and he's like, you can get the yellow stuff out from in here and you can kind of eat it.
And you will survive.
But you don't normally stock a grocery store with that kind
those
of
items.
stuff.
It will feed me, but it ain't tasty. Yeah, that with a banana split.
That would be such a funny prank to play on somebody. To make a banana split with those in it, and they'd be like, what is this? I feel like you could easily choke to death on that banana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's reacting with the Esper.
Mm-hmm. She was born magic, which was weird
Hey.
because
Hey, just jump.
magic conversion therapy we thought would work. Turns out it's a gene thing. Oh yeah, there's a Bitcoin bed.
I'm sorry, but we're not going to explain to you what's happening in the
Yeah.
game through most of this, I think.
We're going to assume that you heard the first 4 episodes, and so when you hear game shit happening in the background, just you'll know
can
what
piece
it is.
together. I don't know, but we can't go over this all again.
This is a real hangout
This
episode.
is just this is the main line of our show.
Yeah, just the parts of the show that you loved the most condensed into one episode.
Coffee and olives is a pretty good pairing.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a really unique, really trendy hipster
Just like
store. Coffee and
a
olives.
coffee shop that's also
Also-
just an olive bar.
Mhm. It sounds like you would be a huge
I
hit.
think it has to be cold coffee. I don't think I'd want to drink a really hot coffee and eat olives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, I feel like if you did that and you just told people they paired well, they would believe you. Like, I don't know if this technically is good pairing. But
No. I think you could sell
right?
it in the right neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could open up a coffee and olives shop. Because I feel like that would spread by word of mouth where it's like, there's this coffee shop that has these amazing olives. It's all they do is coffee and olives.
Well, if this Final Fantasy thing doesn't work out...
Yeah, I gotta get into the settle-in mindset for a few hours, just relax, enjoy the watching of the game. There's no podcast to even record.
Just take it easy.
Just relax.
Just do some breathing exercises.
Meditate.
Just big inhale through the nose.
Final Fantasy.
Koopa. And just relax.
Yeah.
Just let the Final Fantasy
Wash over
you.
We're getting all our old friends back.
Nice.
Finger wagging.
Finger wag. When you're being silenced, is it not that you're being silenced, it's that you're getting like so much echo on your voice that you can't understand what's what? And so the echo screens out all those echoes and lets one voice be one again?
I don't know.
Yeah, they wouldn't call it silence.
I think it just makes it so
made
you
a lot
can't
of
say
more-
the spell.
Right.
That's the most traditional silence anyway. Like in D&D, it's like you can't talk, so your magic doesn't work.
Right, because you can't say the magic words. Mm-hmm. Can't yell out Cure 2.
Exactly.
Alright, I just googled Echo Screen, and everything that's coming up is about the Amazon Echo Show, which is the Echo that has a screen in it. This is interesting. In other games, it's called the Echo Herbs, the Echo Grass, the Echo
Yeah,
Drops.
there's different names in different games. Maybe it's a screen that creates echoes so you can sound again? I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. You want to hear some great trivia about Echo Screen?
Yes.
Despite neither the item nor the silence status appearing in the game, Echo Grass appears as an answer for a Brain Blast quiz in Final Fantasy XIII-2.
What? What is a Brain Blast quiz?
I'm assuming a mini-game? Brain Blast. It's a quiz mini-game in Final Fantasy XIII-2. Played on terminals scattered around some city. It sounds like something where you, like, grind out stuff on quiz terminals.
It's a dark glimpse into our future.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. I didn't get enough olives.
You got a lot left in there.
It's not enough.
No,
I know already.
Not enough olives.
I ate this shit like it's cereal.
The breakfast of champions. You should try to make olive oil.
I don't think you use marinated olives to make olive oil.
No, I don't think. When I lived with a family in Spain, they like had this like outside of the city. They also owned this like giant farm that basically was just for olives and cherries, and so they just had an unreasonable amount of fresh olive oil that they made for themselves all the time.
Yeah.
Cooked everything in it, and the
Sure,
weirdest,
it's delicious.
it was. And I ate a lot, and I remember at one point, like late in the program, one of the people who was running the program came up to me and was like, "Hey, is your family feeding you? The family that you're staying with?" And I was like, "Yeah, like they're feeding me." Like, whoa! And the dude was like, "Cause you've like lost like a lot of weight in the last month." And I was like, "I don't know, but they're cooking everything in a lot of olive oil rather than butter."
Yeah.
And also, I'm walking around Spain all day, every day.
Yeah, you're
and
walking
at home,
around,
I watch TV
you're
all
eating
day.
homemade food.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I left America.
I left America. That's totally... Are olives marinated in olive oil? Is that one of the things that it's marinated in? The juices of its brethren?
Sometimes I think they can be. I don't know, don't you have to do something to them so that they're okay to eat? Like, you gotta ferment them for a while anyway. Like, I don't know if you can just eat olives off the tree.
But how do you get the oil from it? Do you, like, juice the olive? And oil comes out? I don't think so. They also, like, because, like, one weekend we went out to that farm, and they just had these crates full of the freshest, best cherries. They weren't maraschino cherries. They were, like, this other type of cherry I'd never had before. Mm-hmm. And I just ate, like, a whole crate full of them, and the family was like, "What is going on? Like, are you okay?" And I was like, "These are just, I've never tasted something so good." They're like, we should have them everywhere here, these kinds of cherries. They're like the one that has like a stripe of white, too. You know what I'm talking about?
No, never heard of such a thing.
You would be pissed off if you ate one. Because you'd be like, why are these not in every bowl, on every street, a cherry in every bowl, a chicken in every pot? This is what FDR should have been focused on. Yeah, join them.
Probably some kind of grinding and centrifuging and the classic blended up, separate the parts out scenario, right?
Olive oil is produced in the mesocarp cells and is stored in a particular type of vacuole called a lipovacuole. Basically, every cell contains a tiny olive oil droplet. Olive oil extraction is the process of separating the oil from the other fruit contents, right? So, how do? Sounds like you can achieve it through a press.
I feel like I've heard that before. Yeah, so you juice the olives and then you separate it out.
You do juice the olive.
Get ready. Sink the castle. Like, I'm not just gonna get lost for fun.
No.
Is this where I'm supposed to go? Yeah.
He says as he gets.
God damn it, I should have just bought so many beets.
You gotta get some sick beets.
I must have some kind of vitamin deficiency, because, like, eating these beets, my body's like, just more beets.
Sometimes that'll happen where I'm just like caveman eating, like some kind of instinct kicks in.
Yeah, you just know that you need something.
It's the same thing that Coca-Cola has like perfectly engineered for like when you're like get that first sip and you're like, oh, I can't not continue to gulp for a minute here. Because they put more salt in so that they can put more sugar in, so that they can put more sugar in.
It really shouldn't be something that people are allowed to consume.
No.
It should be like drinking alcohol. I would love an 8-ounce Coca-Cola.
I look for those cans. They're so hard to find.
Yeah.
They do exist. You know that's just the standard in most of Europe?
But Big Sody Pop wants you to be drinking 12 or 24.
Yeah, well, because Big Sody Pop is in league with Big Health Insurance.
Probably, I don't know.
To be like...
I wouldn't be surprised if it was revealed that Coca-Cola owned everything, like all the media companies. Like, they actually were like, actually, we own all of it.
We just told you
we
that
are,
made
we are America.
Yeah.
What if they own everything? They're like, we own the sugar plantations that we use to make the Coke, and on top of that, we own the Russian oligarchy, we own the Trumps, like everything that's happening in the world. Don't worry, Coca-Cola has a vision. Like we're doing. I would think I would feel better about all the things happening in the world right now.
Oh my God.
If it turned out that it were just some plan by Coke, and Coke was like, "Don't worry, it's all leading to something.
It's all leading
as
to
long as it's leading to something."
Have a Coke and a smile.
Yeah, exactly.
Like some new
the new
slogan.
marketing is like they pull fascism back and like Coke comes back. And they're like, oh, Coca-Cola Classic returns. Because it'll get to a place where it's like, it's Coke Trump now.
Oh my God.
And then everyone hates Coke Trump. Or Trump Coke. And then Coca-Cola like pulls back the wave. And then they're like, and Coca-Cola Classic returns.
Oh my, that's gotta
That's
be
the
what's
plan,
happening.
right?
Now it all makes sense.
Now it all makes perfect sense.
Red bananas are shorter, plumper, and hardier than the average banana. It should be eaten only when ripe, as an immature red banana tastes like a dry and chalky starch.
Yeah.
When ripe, it will have a thick, brick red peel and ivory-hued semi-soft flesh. Its
Okay.
flavor is sweet and creamy with raspberry highlights.
Okay, so it's not even close, because that peel is like
It's like
green.
No, we ate a deeply unripe red banana.
Okay. Well, then we'll have to try that again in a while.
Red bananas, aren't they supposed to be good?
Yeah. Not like some kind of nightmare banana.
I bought some red bananas at the local international supermarket. They were a nice maroon color and simply labeled red banana. Red bananas are listed as their favorite banana to eat raw. Sweet taste similar to a yellow banana. Well, it didn't turn out well. The first day I opened one up with a knife, the skin is like armor. I literally said armor. and took a bite. I expected something different, of course, but what I got was a bitter, astringent, and incredibly dry, starchy experience. I mean, this thing dried out my mouth, my tongue, my lips. Everything felt like I had just eaten poison.
Yeah, that's how I would put it. Yeah,
I thought, well, that was awful, but let me wait a few days and then try them again. Maybe they're not right. Pretty much the same experience. Maybe a little bit less starchy, but terrible flavor. Almost no flavor, really. And that starchy, bitter feeling. No sweetness at all. Are these things supposed to be like this?
Is there a response?
Yeah, I'm looking for...
Oh, and this is his favorite tea, and this is his books. And this is his bed.
Like, all the people responding have no fucking idea. They're all going like, maybe you cook it. I don't know. But other sources seem to indicate, like, that is a straight-up unripe. Yeah, I think we should pick up as though... Welcome back, audience. Wasn't that a fun time? Now we get to replay another part of this game that we've already played.
We've reached the part of the game where we thought that the recordings had stopped. So to be totally clear, from this point to the point that you guys left off at the end of episode 4, we started performing again.
Just to be totally clear.
There's a slight difference in the second half of this episode.
We're entering South Figaro, which is a nice town, full of chocobo stables and a winding cafe that has a confusing layout.
I can't wait till it's night and I'm doing some kind of a stealth mission.
Yeah, let's go buy some... Well, I'm gonna actually fight a little bit to make some money so we can buy all the shit we want.
That sounds good.
Gauntlet allows you to double hand.
Here we are, pretending to learn this for the first
That's what I
time.
call my whack-off move, the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Both hands.
Wait, what was it that I had for the euphemism that it sounded like...
A wag and a wink.
No, it was something else that was like for jerking off. Although a wag and a wink could work for that, but it was something else. We'll come up to it again. I'm sure that's one where my brain will do the same thing when we run into that line of dialogue.
I'm thinking of Don't Tease the Octopus Kids.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's-
I was even unsure.
Yeah, it's the Ultros joke.
Here's Shadow.
Yeah, Shadow.
Look, at the very least, you could give me a response.
Right, he's got his...
back. He seems vaguely familiar. All these clues make a lot more sense when you know the whole story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Empire's been invading one town after the next. We're not safe here.
Okay. That's enough of the inn people.
So in Figaro, there's that mansion in the north of town. We go in there. When you walk in, the rich man's like, "Oh, you startled me." So we're talking about that.
Even millionaires can be startled.
Yeah. Which is weird, because, like, I really thought that they couldn't be.
Yeah. That's how you become a millionaire, right?
There's
You
a
just
draft
are
on
unflappable.
It's
no matter
behind
what.
the...
Yeah.
Yeah, you make more money the less startled you are.
You go into like a fancy restaurant where all the millionaires are, and they come to your table and they try to make you flinch, and then when you don't, they're like, "Here's a stack
Here's
of
a
cash."
stack of keys they throw down.
Like, "Welcome to the club."
Fat wad.
Yeah.
But also, what is that an actual room of?
It's a save room where he keeps his save spot.
Where you
He's so rich he has a save spot in his house.
Right, that's like one of those like rare... Yeah.
Don't call me a thief. I'm a treasure hunter, and it just so happens most of the treasure is in the homes of wealthy people. Into the drunk man's house.
You mean the cider guy?
Yeah.
The cider house? He has
Cider
rules.
house rules are, don't talk to me unless you have cider.
That's rule number 1 in the cider house.
I don't like strangers. Bring me some cider and maybe I'll talk to you. That's the cider house rule.
It's the cider house rules.
Isn't like a movie where there's frat bros like, the cider house rules, right?
Cider house rules!
Yes.
The cider house is like a frat, like it's like Animal House, but the cider house.
It's British Animal House.
Yes.
They just remade it. You know how they made The Office everywhere?
Right.
They make Animal House everywhere.
It's the cider house over
They
there.
adapt it to binge drinking cultures all over the world.
It's like there's rules in the cider
No, I
house.
believe it's Michael Caine runs an orphanage in Maine.
He's like, these are the cider house rules.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And the kids, the orphans are like, okay,
This town will go down fighting. This guy is like, we're gonna put up a good fight, and then like 20 minutes later, it's wrecked.
Yeah, they do not put up a good fight.
Okay, moving on. We'll build the podcast again, but faster and better.
And stronger.
We'll build it again.
Yeah, that voice is best done when delivering one-liners.
Yeah.
But I kind of find it hilarious to like have a whole
No, that's
like
the
soliloquy
because the whole
done
like
Hamlet's soliloquy done. To be or not to be?
yeah.
That is the question. Whether 'tis noble or in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
Yeah, you can only do it very loud too. It's hard to whisper in that voice.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt we're doing like eco-friendly camping either. I bet we just leave all of our shit.
Yeah, but there's also not a lot of like non-biodegradable stuff around for us to use.
There's a lot of metal. Yeah, there's probably no plastic though.
Right, like
I don't think they have styrofoam in this world.
like the packaging that the tents come in.
Right, because they're still using steam technology. They're not using oil.
Right.
Right.
They're not burning.
They're
Fossil
using
fuels.
magic. They
Right.
got crystals and they got steam.
In a world where they could have like fossil fuels in this game, are the fossils all monster fossils that have
They
become?
would probably be old monsters, you know? Just like dinosaurs
Yeah.
are.
I guess you could make oil eventually from humans too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the biomass.
Yeah, there's nothing special about them being dinosaurs
No,
that
that's...
turns into oil.
What do you think that's... What,
No, I
only-
didn't, but I don't know what I
We're
was...
so lucky that dinosaurs existed because that's what makes...
I can't believe I ever thought that. The fact that dinosaurs became oil is like a thing, but it's not because they were dinosaurs, you fucking idiot.
I just can't believe that I'm just now thinking of the idea of human oil, like extracting and selling my own skin oil
Yeah.
as a cooking oil.
Well, we're talking about like crude oil.
Yeah,
Like,
I
we're
know,
talking
but
about,
I've switched back to
millions
olive oil.
of years. Okay, so
But with people, you juice people. You know, like
With,
when
like,
you're
sweat?
like when you're especially oily and you like just push it out of your pores, you just
that's
scrape all
sweat,
that
not
up.
oil. It's not
No, there's
literally
oil in your skin.
Oh, you're right. There are
Yeah, come on.
oils. You know,
Yeah,
we do have oils,
like,
natural oils.
like inside of your pimples and stuff,
Right.
you know, and you just
But aren't
collect
there-
all of that.
There are like shampoos
And
infused
purify
with natural
it.
oils.
Yeah, is that what we're washing our
We
hair with?
With other people's
Is
hair
there like
oil.
a farm somewhere where they like are just like wringing out greasy hair
God.
and they add that into the shampoo? And can you cook with it?
Can you cook with it? That's
Is
what I
the
really
real
want to
question.
know. That is the real
To give
question.
it a nice...
It's
nice,
got a low smoke point. I want to say let's move on, and yet this whole episode, there is no moving on.
I mean, we've fully entered the next dimension. There is no forward or backward anymore,
Yeah.
Jeff. This is not going anywhere, and it's not going nowhere either. It's like some kind of hackier version of like a Douglas Adams, like, what is reality?
Yeah. So let's get back to that.
Fuck, dude. Look, I must have hit A when I was entering Sabine's name, and now we have Sabina.
I mean,
It's fine.
who cares?
Who cares?
I would be like, your save
It's
point
just
was like a
going to-
minute ago, and we could reset, but I feel like.
But
who cares?
Sabine's was named like 40 minutes ago. Like, you named Sabine in Figaro Castle.
Oh, we just realized it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we'll just not call him Sabina.
Yeah.
And
Or
if
maybe
run
we
into
will.
a naming way. Maybe we will.
Damn, dude. I'm going ham on these olives.
Oh, do you want to say on mic your ham story? Because you remembered somebody saying going ham.
I have a
Well, 'cause you-
specific memory
You were like,
of a friend of mine who would always make bad puns, and he would say, guys, I'm gonna go ham on this sandwich.
but the other puns were shit like, what was it, like a
What's
This
the
ice-
scoop with the ice
what's
cream?
the scoop with the
What's
ice
the
cream?
deal with these cards?
What's the, yeah.
Stuff like that.
I mean, maybe he was just super clever.
But it wouldn't be a pun if going ham wasn't a thing people said.
In a not relation to a ham sandwich, though.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. I just don't know where, like, I don't understand how it started. And
But
I
like
know
we were
that,
saying,
that
you don't
maybe lost the
understand
time, and
how
that's
cool.
the thing. Yeah, there's lots of pieces of language where I'm like, I don't understand how. Although I can kind of wrap my head around how you get to cool.
I don't think it's that. I mean, I'm determined to figure out the actual origins, but after Dennis didn't know it, I kind of was like, oh no, but then... I mean, yeah, and I also asked someone else who was like, you know, mid to late 30s, like, I was like, going ham. That's like before Jay-Z and Kanye West, right? And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course. And I was like, I was like, okay. It was like not even a question I knew how to ask. He's like, what are you asking me? I was like, you know that phrase? He's like, yes. And I was like, and it's not from Watch the Throne. And he was like, no. And I was like, but where?
What is it from? And what is it?
But he doesn't. Of course, he doesn't know. He's like, I don't know. I just know it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, the maze is not for you. And I was like, we're robots. We're living in Los Angeles world. Just a thing that we know, going ham. It's like a vestigial...
The maze is not for you?
Yeah, you know, they got the maze, he's going around with the maze, and all the robots are like, the maze is not for you. And he's like, what do you mean? They're like, it doesn't look like anything to me.
Oh, in Westworld.
Yeah, I'm making I'm jumping to Westworld.
I was like, because we do mazes on this show.
No,
And they're not for us. So I was like, the maze is not for you. And it's been long enough that
I'm gonna figure it out.
I just googled what does going ham mean. And it says, the top definition, which, again, is very suspect. It says, ham is an acronym for hard as a motherfucker.
And that's not fucking true, though. That's what I'm saying. The internet is full of lies.
Yeah. No, this has definitely been full of lies.
But maybe it always has been an acronym as hard as a motherfucker. And Jay-Z and Kanye West, maybe one day they were sitting around going, like, why do we say that, going ham? What does that mean? And then they figured it out and they were like, hard as a motherfucker? That's great. That's a song right there. And they were like, gold. Spin it. Why not? They're people too.
No, I know. Oh, no, I know.
Me and my two bears are gonna fuck you up.
Which I call I poo. This seems to indicate that it started with like T9 text conversation acronyms. Like, it started like LOL.
Oh, you know what? That could totally be it. Because
right?
That would.
Then the acronym really is that.
That would time out for a 74-year-old to be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
But a 30-year-old.
And someone similar in age
definitely
to be like,
not.
I know what it means. It's old. What do you mean? Of course. But still not remember where it came from.
Right. Right?
Come on, what's the matter? Start using rows like a pro.
Somebody asked, what does going ham mean? I've been seeing this phrase on the internet a lot lately. I have no idea what it is. Somebody goes, hands around manhood. It means the person's about to masturbate. Yeah, the thing is, like, if really looking like, as an acronym, it only means hard as a motherfucker. Like, the phrase going ham is only
well,
in the context...
I'm not sure that it's always been an acronym, is what I'm saying.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, from what I'm learning here, because there's, like, ham has various meanings. The cut of meat, all that different stuff.
Yeah.
The term going ham has only been used meaning going hard as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I think that it would make a lot of fucking sense if it originated in, like, early AOL Instant Messenger kind of talk.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because then it would still... Like, if it was, like, a really old phrase, I'd be like, why would it be hard as a motherfucker? Like, motherfucker...
No, that's what I'm saying, is I don't know that it always meant effectively going hard as a motherfucker, but I'm not totally convinced that it always was as an acronym.
I get what you're saying. I'm now more convinced, though, that it was always an acronym.
I mean, that origin, I'd buy that.
That way it predates Jay-Z...
But it doesn't predate...
But it doesn't predate realistically being
hard as a motherfucker. But then that makes that song so fucking lame that they're like, let's go back to an AIM acronym.
Well, they could have gone Laugh Out Loud, which would have been really a big hit.
For a second, I was like,
I
was like, that's super clever to turn ham into hard as a motherfucker.
Right.
That's what I thought at first.
No.
Whatever. I'm sure you're fascinated, audience. You want to... This is now the Hard as a Motherfucker podcast.
Yeah.
Where we discuss going ham ad nauseum. Is she the girl who could talk to espers? Carrier pigeons brought word that she wiped out 50 of the Empire's best soldiers in a few minutes. They sent pigeons. Like, someone watched her, like, fry all the people and, like, wrote a little note, and he was like, fly!
That's a lie.
But I recently watched that movie, Harvey. Have you seen this? Jimmy Stewart.
That's a classic movie,
It's this,
right?
like, awesome comedy where... Well, we could talk about the reasons that we would think it's awesome from, like, a meta writer point of view, because you would never see a movie like this now, but, like, it's like this parable about, like, how alcoholism is good. It's weird. Like, where, like, Jimmy Stewart plays this character who's, like, just looks sort of clueless and is, like, super friendly. He, like, walks around the world very slowly, and you'll be like, hey, I forget his name, but you'd be like, hey, Jimmy Stewart, and he'd slowly look up and be like, oh, yes, what can I do for you? and he just, like, every day at, like, noon, he, like, lives with his sister and his niece or something, and they're both like, we gotta get him out of the house, no one will fuck us when he's around, because he's totally weird. I just don't want him here. And he just spends all day long sitting at the bar, talking to a rabbit that no one can see named Harvey. And he's like, well, Harvey and I will have 2 martinis. But he's like the best guy on the planet, and so the plot is that, like, his sister tries to get him committed because she wants him out of the house for a party. So she goes to the mental hospital and they commit her. And he shows up and he's like, oh, well, I just want what's best for my sister. I understand. Jimmy Stewart is the crazy
the one who thinks that there's a rabbit.
Yeah. Jimmy Stewart, of course, just goes back to the bar, and the doctor comes to find him, and he's like, well, I mean, I'll go with you anywhere, but Harvey and I would sure like to share a drink with you, sir. And so the whole movie is just like Jimmy Stewart getting fucking soused and people trying to, like, put him into this mental hospital, and then the best twist ever comes, and that's that the rabbit is fucking real.
What?
Yes!
How does that happen? What do you mean?
And like, you know, people come and they're like, there's like this monologue he has in the middle. He's like, well, I just love hearing what people have to say, and I have a drink with them, and I tell them about Harvey, and it's just about the best thing they ever saw, and I just love other people and shit. And
I don't understand.
The
How
rabbit
is
is real.
How is he?
He's a well, as Jimmy puts it, he's a puka, which is this, like, Celtic fable thing.
What?
A puka. That's like this mischievous
rabbit
Celtic
that only
It's
Jimmy
not
Stewart's
necessarily
can
a
see.
rabbit.
If you have a good enough heart,
Well, the
you
thing
can
is
see.
what happens is, like, the head of the hospital, like, gets trashed with Jimmy Stewart, and then he can, like, see the rabbit, and he's like, oh my god, I'm crazy.
Wait, so only if you're drunk you can see
That,
him?
it's not clear, but, like, it becomes obvious to this guy that, like, this rabbit Harvey is real. And he goes back to the hospital, and there's, like, this hilarious sequence of he, like, goes to the hospital, and everyone's like, are you okay? And he's like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. You know, we should just leave him out. Everything's good. I gotta go. And
there's certainly no rabbits
like,
that I've seen.
the part that's nuts is, like, it's not like they show the rabbit. They show, like, the doctor, like, running like he's being followed, and he, like, runs into his office, and he closes the door, and, like, the door opens, and no one's there, and he's like, ah!
That's great.
Anyway, it's a movie about Jimmy Stewart looking like just like a clueless idiot who spends literally all of his time drinking with an invisible rabbit. And it's like his sister in the end like is trying to convince him to, like, get lobotomized so he's less trouble.
Whoa.
Well, they're like, we're going to inject him with potion 9 or whatever, which makes crazy people sane. And in this
Motion number
instance,
9?
it seems like all of his craziness is tied directly to drinking constantly.
Right.
And then the doctors out there are like, there's like a cab driver who's like, I've seen people come out of here after they get injected and they ain't no good anymore.
Yeah,
you know,
they're
like
different.
they might have been crazy before, but they were better crazy. And then she's like, no, don't inject him. I want him to be a drunk, crazy man forever. And he's like,
Yeah.
well, if that's what you want, sis. And then they leave, and Harvey stays. And, like, this doctor who, like, sees the puka realizes that he, like, hates his life and his whole thing is a sham. And he's like, can Harvey just come stay with me and we'll go just drink every day and I won't be a psychiatrist anymore?
And
then he's like, well, if Harvey wants to stay, then he can. And then Harvey doesn't want to stay. And he goes,
Alright.
Anyway.
Have you made a decision? Will you become our last ray of hope?
Should we
Yes
say
or
no?
I want to see what happens.
World is full of shit buckets. I think that must be because there's that prison room and there's the bucket.
Yeah,
there's no
the
toilets
bucket.
anywhere.
But what is the chair for?
I mean, the guard's gonna want to sit and watch her get tortured. Or
Watch
whatever.
her take a shit? If the room is usually for shitting in, what is the chair for?
No, I'm saying that that's a torture prison room.
Yeah, okay.
It's just got a chair and a shit bucket.
And a shit bucket because people who are tortured and stay in there need shit buckets.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you're going to want to collect the shit in a bucket.
Right.
Part of being a prison guard torture guy is you're also going to have to watch people shit.
Yeah.
And then I guess that's also part of being a prisoner is they're going to totally dehumanize you and be like, shit in the bucket.
Yeah, that's unfortunately way too real of a thing. That's exactly
This
the
game is
technique.
going there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, this game is way more adult than the last one.
Yeah, it's the game that's taking us there. I had no part in this. I didn't come up with this idea. The game did this on its own.
There's the whole sequence that's all about the shit bucket and the torture.
I can't wait till we get back to the shit bucket torture sequence.
Have you made a decision? Will you become our last ray of hope? Sure. Oh,
Yeah, is he
oh,
like
we
a
lost the
California
thing
guy?
where I yelled, make some noise for like a minute without stopping.
Oh my god, that is a deep bummer.
Yeah, there's no way I could ever go,
No, don't.
make some noise!
Oh my god. No, but the thing about it last time was like there was like a whole 3-act structure to it as I was going through an emotional journey. Okay. It's going well. I still don't think you're gonna hit the kind of time signature that you were able to hit last time. You're already running low on air. You're already... Yeah, alright. Wow. No, you can't cheat like that. You can't go back in. Oh my god, are you okay? Can I get you some water?
No, I'm good. Noise.
What are you talking about?
My chest hurts.
Yeah. We're really killing ourselves to recreate season 3, guys.
Oh,
Could that ancient tragedy be playing out once again?
no. Like my veins in my arms hurt from that.
I know, you really put your all into it. Well, I really egged you on to, like, put every bit of air that was in your lungs
And
out.
I just wanted to make it better than last time. Making for nosh.
Making for nosh in all the wrong places.
Woman, I'm making nosh to you.
Whoa.
Making nosh.
Making nosh.
Making sweet.
Making sweet nosh.
Sweet, wet. Hot, sticky nosh. This raft will take us right down the flowing rapids all the way to Nosh. We're gonna ride the stream. Stroke it all the way to Nosh. Hop aboard the raft? Nah. Yeah, let's get on.
Oh yeah, then we had that whole conversation about how, if you think about it, if you're in the ocean and you eat anything,
It's soup.
it's seafood soup.
That's like kind of becomes like a worldview though, because then you're like,
There's dirt in
the
your
whole
food.
world is a soup.
Well,
you know?
soup is inherently a liquid food.
Yeah, but it has things
That
in it
has
that aren't
chunks in it,
liquid.
right.
So the land is just like chunks also floating in the ocean.
We're not Oh, like the land itself?
It's just pieces.
No, the land itself is edges of the bowl.
Yeah, okay, so
like,
and
that's
then
outside
the
of
Earth
the bowl.
is just like floating in the soup of space. It's just like a morsel in its own right.
Yeah, but I think that the ocean is more directly a giant bowl of soup than any of those other things.
Yeah, but it's also kind of not, because it's cold and made of lots of things that
Lots
are...
of soups are cold.
Not lots.
There are plenty. I can name you a handful of.
And all
borscht,
the things in it also
just not
are alive.
Is it called Gestapo? What is it called? That red cold soup? Not Gestapo.
Capasso. Giusapo? It's not Gestapo.
It's not Gestapo, but it's close.
It's definitely not Gestapo. I know what you're talking about.
But it's close.
Gestapo... Gespasso?
You're closer.
Hold on, don't look it up yet. Gestapo. It's gotta be Giusapo.
I just looked it up.
It's Giusapo?
Gazpacho.
Gazpacho. Gazpacho.
Gazpacho.
It's in a word that's so Italian that it doesn't even have like an American way of saying it.
Yeah.
It's not Italian at all. It's Spanish.
100%.
I've already forgotten it. Gazpacho.
Yeah.
Gazpacho.
That's a cold soup.
Gross.
What I'm saying is, what you were, the point that both of us were, you were about to make a point that I was about to make, which is that at the end of the day, what we don't really have soups of is of live fish.
Yeah, the ocean is not that much like a soup.
It's more like a soup than
And
it's
if
a
you were
seafood
eating
soup.
seafood out of it, like you take a bite of the seafood, you're just eating underwater. Like this, it's not mixed with. It's not like you cut it up and mixed it with ocean and
Right,
ate
because
it.
I'm not a part of the soup that I eat.
You're
Like,
usually
I'm not in the soup
You're
when I'm
usually
eating
not
it.
swimming in the soup when you're eating it,
Right.
and when you're eating it, you're not also eating.
And you also aren't kind
'Cause
of
if-
like by the definition of that, like potatoes
it's
among
analogous
the soup.
to a soup.
Right,
But
it's wet.
at that point,
it's
in a way,
it's a
it's-
briny thing full of potential food.
Yeah, just like space. The Earth
No,
floating in it.
You're
Yeah,
losing
the Earth
me there.
would be a tasty morsel.
for what?
A horrible creature beyond our comprehension.
Well, we don't know about that because he doesn't.
Yeah, and the
exist.
krill don't know about the whale
Put
shark.
Bannon on the back
I'm
row.
about to. Bannon, you belong on the back row. Double click.
Wee game over. Don't tease the octopus, kids. That was it. That was the one where I was like,
tease the
don't tease
that
the
one
octopus
worked
is
perfectly.
definitely a phrase for jerking off. Edgar and Tara race towards Niersh while protecting Bannon. Abbreviation culture exploded when Instant Messenger came around. Like, that
Yeah.
was when everyone was like, what are all these are we just going to talk in abbreviations now?
That was too many olives.
I was wondering when that was going to hit you. I should have gotten more olives. You were complaining that there weren't enough olives.
I should have
There's
gotten
still
more.
olives
I
left.
should have gotten more beets.
Right,
I should have gotten more things.
right.
But that was too many olives. That's altogether too many olives that I just ate.
Yeah, what happens to your insides when you eat too many olives? Report back.
So, report back.
Well, I mean, it's not as bad as whatever happens to you when you eat too many nachos.
Okay.
Or anything like that I can report.
So comparatively, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I just...
There weren't like oily shits.
No, I don't think so.
Horrifying.
I just remember it was a different kind of sick than usual. It was just like a general malaise. It wasn't like, oh, that was so many calories that like I
Right.
really am going to die. It was just really like everything about eating another olive became unappealing. I don't know what to say about it. It was
All
like
right.
a pound of olives. It's just a lot of
unreasonable
olives.
amount of olives. That's why I asked the question.
But most of that weight is in the pit too, you know. There's a lot of pit weights.
A
so
lot
really,
of
let's say
olives.
that it was like a half a pound of olive.
Let's go with
flesh.
that and
Yeah.
say that that's healthy.
That's the thing. I don't know. Is it unhealthy?
I don't know. It seems like too many olives.
I don't know that olives are particularly like nutritious.
Right. I really don't
Maybe
know.
they
Can you
are.
just live off, like, is there an olive diet? Can you just live off of olives?
That's got to give you some kind of cancer, right? Like Just like if you eat only fruit or whatever, it fucks with your body.
Right.
Like
right.
eating only one food is always a diet that ends with bad
Bad,
things. Yeah.
I don't feel sick. Like, I don't feel like I ate a lot and I'm sick now, as has often been the case on this podcast, but definitely, like,
You felt better?
my stomach doesn't feel good as I keep putting them inside of me. Like, it's like the taste kind of makes me go like, this might make us sick if you keep going.
I've told you about that olive place that I used to live near in New York.
Maybe.
That they only sell olives, and they just have like giant barrels full of different types of olives all over the store. It's like a small, convenience store size place in Manhattan. Is that was something? Did you just have more olives?
You're so good. Well, I realized I didn't get to taste every kind of olive I bought yet. So I want another.
Oh yeah, you wanted another olive.
It's too briny. It's too salty. It's too
much
vinegar, salt, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's too much of that.
I can't sleep in this Bitcoin bed.
Yeah. So the Bitcoin thing must just mean bed,
I guess.
but not necessarily that you can sleep in it.
Yeah, is there like a government regulation that every bed
This
needs
bed
to be
is
labeled
certified.
bed? Yeah.
Yeah, that bed, that feels like a real Soviet thing, like a 2 and 2 equals 5 thing. Like there'd be a bed with no official government seal on it, and they'd be like, what is this? And you'd be like, I don't know, it's not a bed. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And they're like, very good, it's not a bed.
Yes.
And they'd put a sticker on it and be like, now
What is
it's
it
a
now?
bed now. I mean, I couldn't see, now it's a bed. It was nothing before. But now that the government has sanctioned it, it is a bed.
It is officially a bed.
It's like, interesting. Before it was nothing, and now it is a bed. You see the power of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, the returners just want to return to a time when they could call whatever they wanted that they slept in a bed.
Yeah. They're like all of
They're like, sleeping bags are beds if you think about it.
Yeah, what is a bed really? If not where you're lying down. Could you do a Michael Caine for that?
What have I done? I betrayed the town. Hold on. Take a second.
Yeah.
I betrayed the town, and I didn't even need the money.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I betrayed the town.
I betrayed the town. Master Wayne.
Master Wayne.
To a magic trick. What you gonna do? That's what I'm
wearing,
saying. Like, the merchant thing is a whole uniform. Like, when you
Right.
see them in battle, it's like they're out. You know that everything they have to sell is on them. So you see them, and you're like, oh, he's a merchant, and he's got a lot of stuff to sell still. And
Yeah.
then when they're naked, you're like, he's a merchant, and he's rich. 'Cause
Right.
he's just got like a big sack of gold that he covers his balls.
Yeah, he covers his balls with his giant
He
sack
walks
of gold.
proudly.
Yeah, well, because that's how I love. Yeah, that was your
He's-
point
and-
before. It's
and
like,
he's
you know
constantly-
a merchant
he's
is
got-
successful if he's fucking naked at the end of the day.
Yeah, because he walks out at the beginning of the day covered in stuff to sell, and he sells it all. Then he walks through town naked, covering his balls with his giant sack of gold, smugly looking at people and saying, "It's rude to look." Like, with a big shit-eating grin.
Yeah,
on his
yeah,
face.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
everyone has... No one can take their eyes off of my
Yeah.
giant sack of gold.
So she used to be a general, now she's just a trader. But really, let's go. You take me along, yeah.
Yeah, I should not have eaten all of those olives that fast. They were so good, though.
All of those olives.
All of those olives.
I mean, you ate like the whole garden. They have something called a golden banana. It's deep fried mashed banana wrapped with a spring roll skin, garnished
Yes.
with whipped cream and chocolate sauce.
Yes.
Getting 2 of them. That sounds like a crazy version of a banana split.
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do with a banana. Deep fry it, that is.
Right. And then mash it and then deep fry it. Oh, this whole thing with General Leo.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is what's
yeah,
happening,
okay,
yeah. But then after that...
Yeah. You keeping a sharp lookout? I can't do both.
let's
Bannon and the... Yeah, what?
Hey, you!
Are you keeping a sharp lookout?
That's gonna be unsustainable.
That sucks, yeah. They're just, hey, you keeping a sharp lookout? You keep a... let's just read for a while. Hey, you keeping a sharp lookout?
We could try putting a post-production distortion, like...
I mean,
What do
we're
you call
gonna
it?
end up cutting most of the...
Oh, I know,
so-
but I just like the idea for even a second of just being like...
Yes, sir. Correct, sir?
Yeah, the disguise voice effect is amazing.
How are you, sir?
You won't have to do it.
Please, save your petty small talk. Just do your job.
Here, wait, let's see if people can tell the difference. You do an impression of it, I'll do the real thing. You do, like, say this line, but in...
Someone's gotta put that guy away.
Phew, someone's gonna put that guy away.
See, I sounded way better. I know it already.
Well, because I don't have a digital thing on my
Yeah,
voice.
no, I'm doing it right.
Well, how could, I mean, what if they can't actually tell?
People might be able to tell.
But what, I mean, I don't know. I haven't been able to hear at all. What if they can't?
Well, I think they're not going to be able to tell just because what I'm going to do is put the distortion on everything I'm saying and not put it on what you're saying, but you're speaking so low right now, I don't even know if the mic's picking it up properly.
That's a good point. Whatever. I'd like to tell him to his face that he's no General Leo. God, get there. Let's get there. Now we got this fucking shit with Cyan.
Oh, yeah.
Now that Leo's gone, I'll have to... Oh, now that Leo's gone, I'll turn... Now that Leo's gone, I'll turn this water into a flowing river of poison.
Yeah, he's Dale.
Yeah. Dale.
We did it. We finally landed on our Kefka.
Yeah, we settled on this. We settled on this.
We settled on an impression of Dale from King of the Hill.
You loser. I'll take care of this situation in no time.
Yeah, I like it. Don't be pompous! And don't forget that they're people! Just like you and me!
We need not spare those lands that gave rise to the returners.
That's great! Yeah, I'm falling more and more in love with that.
You just go and be a good little boy. If only I had put on my sprint shoes today, I could have saved him.
I could have gotten there in time.
Save your strength. Don't talk.
Go! Run to your family! Hack! Gasp!
Highness, here we are.
This is right where it is.
Right
This
here.
is literally,
We're
it was
back.
on that
Literally
line
right
of dialogue.
here, yeah.
Wow.
We were standing right here like this.
Fuck yes. Okay, now the pod continues.
And exhale.
Oh my god.
We made it back.
That's episode 5. What the fuck did we just listen to? What kind of an experience was that? I hope you enjoyed that. You probably either think that is the best episode we've ever done, or definitely the worst.
It's definitely the best, but
I
either
think so,
way,
too.
we finally we caught back up to ourselves.
Oh my god. So Cyan is running towards his family.
Cheyenne's about to find out that his family has died. I mean, I just remember that day being like, come on, can we finally get there?
Right.
And then I think one of my least favorite parts of this game has to be the fucking Doma Castle cutscene where you're watching General Leo talk to Kefka.
It's really long.
It lasts for forever.
It's really
There's two
long.
soldiers that are involved that talk. It goes for forever, and then you watch like Cyan defend Doma Castle and succeed, and then they poison the castle and the people die, and you're back with it goes like you start this part thinking you're going on an adventure with Sabine and Shadow, and you end up in like an endless cutscene.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway, we just got through the cutscene.
So, join us next week.
Come
Please
back, join us next week.
Rate and review us on iTunes. You can find us at noonecanknowabouttthis.com.
I feel like re-energized.
I feel dead right now.
I'm like thriving on this. I'm like, feed me. Something woke up inside of me.
You can find us at nocatpodcast@gmail.com. That's NOCKAT, and at nocatpodcast on Twitter. Find us on the Patreon. The video version is back up for this episode, by the way.
Yeah, this part has video.
You can watch a meaningless video. The most... the last 3 episodes, it's like, why have it? Oh, but go sign up for that.
Yeah, check out the video version. We're on Twitter, too. Did we say that already?
We've never said that we're on Twitter, too. But we are.
Yeah.
I'm at Jeffrey Ekman.
I'm at... Arkasmiski.
Yeah.
Or
I think it's Arkasmiski.
Arkasmiski.
Right.
And
this is why we've never said it
the
before.
The podcast is at NoCat Podcast.
Yeah, well, I did say that.
Oh, you did say that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I forgot. I mean, my head is scrambled.
but it's alive.
But it's a lot. Yeah, no, there's like, inside of me, there's the voice that's like, you always knew that this was what it was leading to. Like, the spiritual side of me is waking up and like, crawling into consciousness, going like, now is our chance. Like, now is when it begins. Everything before this was a dream.
And with that, here's a little taste of next week on No One Can Know About This.
But I do think, I mean, maybe I'm just making this up because it's such a well-worn gag.
Right.
But it always made sense to me that, like, if it were hot out and you left a banana peel out face down, the bottom part would get, slit slimy.
Yeah, it would, and you wouldn't have any traction because your foot would be on, like, the peel of
Maybe
it.
this is a case of, you know how there's, like, we all know the news story of the old lady who, like, burned her legs off with McDonald's coffee.
Right.
Maybe this is a joke about, like, way back in, like, the 30s. There's, like, a famous suit where somebody slipped on a banana peel and got, like, severely injured and, like, won a lawsuit.
I don't think so.
But maybe.
Maybe. If it's possible. But old-timey petty lawsuits is not something you hear a lot about.
No, but I bet in 50 years you won't hear a lot about
the McDonald's
petty
one.
lawsuits from now either.
Yeah, but
there will be all new
and there will
lawsuits
only
to
be
take
idioms like "Don't spill your hot coffee on you, or you'll get burned like an old lady."
Yeah.
And everybody will go, "Where does that come from?" And somebody old will go like, "Well, back in the 90s, there was this frivolous lawsuit, which actually wasn't frivolous at all, but it kind of got turned that way for a lot of different reasons that are complicated." And so now it's known as a frivolous lawsuit, even though this woman, like, burned her fucking legs off, and it's, like, a fucked up thing that, like, there was complicated elements to it where she's actually in the right here. You've heard those parts of the story?
Yeah, I know the...
That's how the old people are going to tell the youngs about where that phrase comes from.
Yeah, no one's ever going to remember anything that happened to us because we can't even make a good idiom about coffee. It's over.
It's all over.
Nothing will be passed on.
Nope.
No one can remember the details.